Yes, you're welcome to Restore Institute. My name is Giden Sarah and I will be taking you through cost accounting. So today we are going to look at our topic one, which is Introduction to Cost Accounting. So we need to understand what is accounting. So accounting is the process of recording, summarizing, analyzing, and reporting of a financial transaction of a business or individual. So in cost accounting, accounting is divided into three categories. One, we have financial accounting, which is done through standardized financial statement. And then when we talk about the cost accounting, it involves controlling and it involves calculating and controlling costs of a product, of a good, of a certain cost of product, of a good or service. That is cost accounting. So when we talk about management accounting, here it involves reporting of the financial. It can be a non-financial information or financial information of to internal, like it's done internally. So those are the three categories of accounting. And then today we are going to look at cost accounting. So cost accounting, we say it's deal with reporting the cost associated with the production of goods and services. So we see that it's a branch of accounting that focuses on measurement, analyzing, and reporting of costs associated with the production of goods and services. And then it provides valuable information to managers for decision making. It helps for managers to be able to make decisions since they have understood the cost of a product, and then also to control the cost, and then also to improve on the performance of a business or of organization. So we have, let's understand what is cost. We see cost is the amount of expenditure. It can be actual or notional, incurred on or attributable to a given thing. So when we talk about actual expenditure, it is incurred on a given thing, and then notional expenditure attributable to a given thing. Notional expenditure is not actually incurred, but rather it is deemed to have been incurred. For example, we have the rent of the owned factory, and then we also have the interest on owned capital. So let's look at the difference between financial accounting and cost accounting. In financial accounting, it involves preparation of profit and loss account, and then also balance sheet for external reporting. While when we look at in cost accounting, it provides detailed cost information for internal management use. And then when we talk about the registration, when we talk about in cost accounting, we see that it's legally required under the Company Act and Income Tax Act. In cost accounting, it's generally voluntary unless mandated for specific industries. It's always mandated for specific industries, not all the industries that are supposed to come up with cost accounting. And then also we see that it shows the overall profit or the loss for the business as a whole. That is financial accounting. While in cost accounting, it analyzes the cost and profit per product, department, or the process. So you can be able to know the profit. You analyze this profit per the product, each product that you produce, per the department, and then also the process that were involved in coming up with that certain product. And then also we see that in financial accounting, it involves reports. That those reports are that we have the profit and loss account and the balance sheet are typically prepared annually. They are typically prepared annually or monthly. But then when we see that in cost accounting, reporting is continuous and may be done daily, weekly, or monthly. So depending on the business, what they have shoes. So they can decide to do it daily. Every day you have to determine the cost of a certain product, or weekly, or it can be monthly. And then also we see that in financial accounting, it focuses on recording financial transactions with a little emphasis on control. While we see that in cost accounting, it emphasizes cost control using the techniques like the standard costing and budgetary control. And then when we look at it in financial accounting, it follows a standardized format. The profit, for example, in profit and loss account, there is format that you have to follow when preparing this balance sheet or the profit and loss account. You cannot just come up with them. There is a step that you follow, the format that you follow to be able to come up with the profit or the loss of a company. And then also, we see that in cost accounting, uses flexible formats. It uses flexible formats. For them, they can change. It varies by the organization, product, or the purpose. So it depends. What are you determining? What is the purpose? The organization, and then also the product that you're calculating for the cost. So those are the differences between cost accounting and then financial accounting. So let's look at the key steps in installing a cost accounting system. We see that we have to define the objective. So you have to clearly define the goal of the cost system. For example, the cost control, you have to understand the cost control, the product costing, the decision-making support. When you define the objective, then you have to identify the key influencing factors. What are the key influencing factors that affect the cost? And you have to ensure that the system covers all the functions. Those functions, we have the production, we have the administration, and then we have the distribution. You have to understand them. You have to make sure that it covers all. And then after, you have to study the technical aspects. After studying the technical aspect, we see that it affects the technical processes and requirements for system design. So you ensure after studying the technical aspects, then you ensure coordination across staff and management. You have to make sure that you secure support and coordination from all levels within the organization. Then after ensuring the coordination, you have now to standardized forms and procedures. So this one, you develop uniform documentation. The documentation should be uniform. For example, the job cards, they should be uniform. The material requisitions, they also should be uniform to minimize clerical work. So that should be able to minimize clerical work. And then also we see after, you have to, the next step that you do is the effective communication of cost data. You have to ensure timely and appropriate presentation of cost information to various management levels. These various management levels, they should know every step that you're taking. So the cost information you should provide to them timely, in time, should provide to them in time, and then you present to them. So after, you make a survey existing accounting system, survey existing accounting system. So you evaluate the current system to determine the accountability, the computability, and necessary adjustments. So in case of any adjustment, you can be able to adjust after you make sure that you make that survey. So after making the survey, then you supervise the installation process. So you monitor the implementation process to ensure proper system setup. So after you reconcile cost and financial accounts. So you develop procedures to align cost records with the financial accounts. So after then you keep the procedures simple. Keep the procedures simple. You simply process to encourage usability and reduce errors. So you simplify the processes to make sure that you encourage usability so that people can be able to use it, and then also to reduce errors. They cannot be able to make a lot of errors when you keep these procedures simple. So these are the key steps in installing a cost accounting system. So let's look at the reasons why cost accounting is very important. Why do you think we need cost accounting, or these organizations or the businesses or individuals need to do to determine the cost of a certain product or a service in their businesses? One, we see that it helps in profitability boost, where we see that every business owner, they dream of seeing their profits. They dream of seeing their profits increase. So in cost accounting, it unlocks the door to profitability by optimizing resources, by optimizing resource allocation, minimizing waste. When you understand this cost, you can be able to minimize the waste. And then when you understand the cost of a product, you can be able to maximize the return on every investment. So you'll be able to understand, and then you maximize the return on every investment. So, and then it also helps in performance measurement. This one, we see that the business, just like a doctor monitoring your vitals, we see that in cost accounting, we track the performance of different departments, processes, and then the product. So in every department, you'll be able to understand how are they performing of the process, what is the process in every processes, and then also the products. You'll be able to understand the cost of a product. So this is virtual information. It allows you to identify areas for improvement, and then the areas where you can be able to celebrate success. Where you're doing well, then you celebrate success. So if in case there is any improvement, you can be able to improve. So it helps you to measure the performance. And then also let's look at the elements of cost. We have the direct materials. So the direct materials, these are the materials that are directly used in production of a product or the service. They are directly used in a product, in a production of a product or service. So we have direct labor. The labor costs that are directly associated with the production of a product or the services. And then also we have the overheads. The overheads, these are the indirect costs of production. For example, we have the rent, we have the utilities, we have the depreciation, and then we have the insurance. These are all under overheads. So thank you. We have come to an end of this lesson. Let's link up in our next topic. Have a great day.